You know, it's a lot of things going on inside of me internally. And I wrote a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about, and now I just feel like, I want to go in a whole different direction. Because I want people in here to understand something. I think it's very important that we understand this. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. 27 years old. My birthday was just this past week, and so thank you. I spent the majority of my life in Cleveland, Ohio, on the east side, in what was described to me as one of the worst communities in 4th District. My mother raised me and my sister on her own. Every male figure that I had in my life had been in prison, had sold drugs, had done something that they shouldn't have done. I've seen them with my own 2 eyes, right? Like growing up, being raised around these things. My mother was she was a wonderful person, but she struggled with her own substance abuse problems. So in a sense, when I got to be about 13, 14 years old, I'm essentially raising myself. With my sister, there's no man present. No one's there to say, hey, you shouldn't do this. Hey, don't do that. And so, by the time I was 17 years old, I hadn't been to school in a year. I was on the verge of really making this something that was going to be permanent. My mother had attempted to kill herself 2 times. All the while, I'm hanging out with people who sell drugs, carry guns. This was my reality. This is what I thought my future was. Matter of fact, I didn't even think about the future. I thought that this was going to be the end-all, be-all from the streets. The appeal, the excitement. I found myself homeless. I remember once, I was sleeping on the bench in front of my high school. And I remember thinking to myself that, I must have been cursed. There was something going on in my family with me where I just couldn't get right. And so there was a man by the name of Bud Fitzgerald. I went to school with his son, Anton. This man, for I don't know why, reached out to me, moved me into his home, clothed me. Mind you, I'm 17. Most people are like, I'm not taking this grown Negro in this house. You know what I'm saying? He had 4 kids. Put clothes on my back. Put food in my stomach. And he talked to me. He asked, what do you want to be? What do you want for yourself? He said, you can be as successful as you want. You could be nothing. But what matters is what type of man you are going to be. Mind you, I hadn't been to school at this point in a year. I'm working full time. He puts the SAT books in front of my face. He said, you're gonna go back to school. I end up going back to school. I hadn't been to school in a year, so I'm taking senior level courses and junior level courses at the same time. I graduate. That wasn't it. This man had a plan for me. He said, you step in this house, we want nothing but superstars. This man sat down with me and filled out my FAFSA with me like he was my father. I got A, I went to college. Again, I graduated. And so, I say all that to say this. What if Bud Fitzgerald never felt the need to reach out to this nappy-headed, scraggly young man who, for all he knew, was going to steal from him? What if he never felt the need to take me into his house and treat me as his son? To trust me and believe. He was the first man I ever heard in my life say, I'm proud of you. The first man to say I'm proud of you in my life. I'm 18 years old at this point. I never had that. I never hugged a man before. What if he never felt that need? I mean, I have a debt to pay. I truly believe I have a debt to pay. And I came here today talking about a call to action. But you know what? Hearing stories I've heard today, the spirit that's moving right now, we have to know something. We have to really, really understand. I talk to people in the community every single day. And every conversation that I have, before we get out of that conversation, I ask the person, what do you believe are the biggest threats and the biggest opportunities here in Trumbull County, in Mahoning Valley? What are the biggest threats and opportunities? I hear the same thing every time. The biggest threats are President Trump, the Republicans, ACA, the opioid epidemic, our failing education system, the fact that Ohio is leading the nation in infant mortality, the fact that black women are leading the nation in infant mortality. These are the things that I hear every single day. These are the things that people say, these are the biggest threats to our community. And I push back right then and there, and I say, no, you're wrong. That is not the biggest threat to our community. The biggest threat to our community is our indifference. The biggest threat to our community is our absence in the face of oppression. Someone once told me absence is immoral. No matter who is doing the oppressing, no matter who is that person that got their foot on your neck, the person that is wrong is the person that is absent. I take this to heart because I have lived it. I would not be here talking to y'all. I would not be in the communities talking to the people that I'm talking to if someone did not feel the need to be present. If someone did not feel the need to put their hand out and help me. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about him. It was about the future of the community. It was about my kids' future. It was about my kids' future. This is bigger than just an individual. This is bigger than just he say, she say, or I have to deal with this, or I have to pay these bills, or that ain't my business. My father was a raging alcoholic. My biological father was a raging alcoholic. The only memories I have of him is him beating my mother in the front yard in front of the whole community. And you know who stepped up? You know who put their hand out and said, hey, don't do that? Nobody. As a child, I seen this every single day. I mean, my mother would be unconscious. She came home sometimes with neck braces. Not once did someone in the community say, hey, wait a minute, this ain't right. And instead, the conversations were behind closed doors, sipping tea. You know, so-and-so's husband be beating on her. But that ain't my problem. Not knowing that these kids, these children in that household have to grow up in that community. I would have to see that. And I held that resentment against my community. I remembered that. I remembered that no one stepped up. I remembered that no one came and said, you know what, I'm going to put an end to this. And I treated my community like that. Like everybody in my community was one of those people. And so this is why we have to have, you know, we need to have a call to action. Who is going to be the next person to take that child into their home? Who is going to be the next person to reach out to this person on the street, to this prostitute, to this drug addict, to this man who we know has potential, but he just can't quite get over that hump? It is your business. It is your problem. It's all of our problem. And so, you know, I say that to say that Valley Voices United for Change, Faith in Action, New Jerusalem, all of these, this family that we're putting together, this ain't it. This was to get you all out here so we can have this conversation. This was to get you all out here so we can see who's really interested in making a change. Who's really ready to put their money where their mouth is at. what we're going to do June 26th, it's a Monday. We're going to have a rally/vigil at the Courthouse Square in Warren at the corner of Market Street and Park Ave. And if you cannot do this, right, I understand it's going to be hot, people have jobs, people have work. If you cannot get there, then we urge you to make a call to your elected official. Make a call to Senator Portman. Tell him that you are a constituent in his district. Tell him that you will not have it that the ACA gets repealed. Tell him that you will not have one person every 3 hours dying in the valley. One person every 3 hours in the wealthiest country in the world. That, I mean, just saying it doesn't sound real. I talked to a lady who worked at a treatment facility in Youngstown. One of the things that she told me was that almost all of the people receiving treatment in that place, in that facility, receive treatment through Medicaid. I mean, we had a conversation, she had tears in her eyes. She said, I just do not know what's going to happen. I am fearful. Seeing it every day. She's on the front line. This is what we have to lose. There's too much at stake. There's absolutely too much at stake. And so what we're going to do, we're going to send another sign-in sheet around for people who are interested in participating in the action, in the rally, as well as people who would like to sign up to phone bank and make calls to their elected officials. And it's not going to stop here, because we're going to get out here into the communities. We're going to start knocking on doors and talking to our neighbors. People talk about the violence in the communities. I believe, my personal belief is that we can curb 30% of the violence that's happening if we just know our neighbors. If we just have conversations with the people who live in and around us. Because nothing happens in the bubble. You can raise your child with all the morals and values that you want, but when your child steps off that porch and steps into that lion den, he's going to act accordingly. So let's get it together. Thank you.